Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We continue with our recitation from Asa Mahalla Paila, composition of the first Nanak. This is an Ashtapadi, which means it has 8 stanzas to it. So it's rather long, and here's the recitation. Asa Mahalla Paila, एक मरै पंचे मिल रोवह, हाउ में जाए शब्द मल धोवह, समझ सूझ सहज घर होवै, बिन बूझे सगली पत खोवै। कौन मरै कौन रोवै ओही, करण कारण सब सै सिर तोही रहाओ। मुए को रोवै दुख कोय, सो रोवै जिस बेदन होए, जिस बीती जाने प्रभ सोए, आपे करता करे सो होए। जीवत मरना तारे तरना, जय जगदीश परम गत सरना, हाउ बलिहारी सतगुर चरना, गुर बोहित शब्दी पै तरना। निर्भव आप निरंतर ज्योत, बिन नावै सूतक जग जोत। दुर्मत बिन सै क्या कह रोत, जन्म मुए बिन भगत सरोत। मुए को सच रोवह मीत, त्रै गुण रोवह नीता नीत। दुख सुख पर हर सहज सुचीत, तन मन सौंपो कृष्ण प्रीत। भीतर एक अनेक असंख, कर्म धर्म बहु संख असंख। बिन भै भगति जन्म बिरंथ, आपै मरै मारे भी आप, आप उपाय थाप उथाप। सृष्टि उपाई ज्योति तू जात, शब्द विचारी मिलन नहीं प्रांत। सूतक अगन पखे जग खाए, सूतक जल थल सब ही थाए। नानक सूतक जन्म मरी जय, गुर प्रसादी हर रस पीजै। नानक सूतक जन्म मरी जय, गुर प्रसादी हर रस पीजै। There are a couple of important strands of thought that run through this passage. One is our attitude towards death, which the Guru says is not only insincere, but ignorant and rather farcical. The other thought that one can discern in this passage is the notion of sutak, which permeates Indian society and informs the Indian mind. The idea of pollution and purity, abstention from regular activities after certain events like death and birth, the notion that these events cause quote-unquote pollution. This is an idea that Guru Nanak, along with Kabir, have challenged vehemently because it discriminates against certain people, especially women. So let's consider the Ashtapadi. Ek mara, when someone dies in death, panche mil roveh, the usual scene is to see people crying. Panche has a double connotation here. It can mean five, it also means special. So the family is special. They come together and cry and make a scene out of it, so to speak. That is what he is saying. Now, had their haume been erased, in other words, if they had had some self-knowledge through the sabad, haume jai sabad mal tova, had they washed off the mal, the dirt of the ego, here, social conditioning, then their behavior would have been different because samaj sooj sahaj kar hoveh. Because then they would have the right discernment, you see, and their minds would be at peace. Because then they would realize that death is a natural transition. There's nothing to cry about. It's as simple as that. But the Guru says, bin bujhe sagali patakoe. Bin bujhe, without that discernment, the lack of self-knowledge, what does that do? It dispossesses the family, the special ones who have come and are making a scene. It robs them of their dignity, patakova. And what does it mean to be robbed of your dignity? It means that you're not behaving in the way that is expected of you, that you are actually acting below your station. So as humans, as the self, so to speak, you ought to be looking at death with dignified presence. That's the message here. Because the Guru says in the Rahau, he elaborates. He says, Kaun mare, kaun roveh ohi. He's raising this question. Kaun mare, who is the one who has died? And who is it that cries after all? He says, because this whole thing is a drama. It's a karana karana sabse sir tohi. There's only one doer. There's only one motivator. So and that motivator is unborn, does not die, is eternal. So ask yourself this question. What exactly is dying and what is birthing? Keep that in mind. Very important. Muhe ko roveh dukh koe. In the second Ashtapadi. Muhe ko roveh dukh koe. So roveh jis bedan hoye. In truth, he says, so roveh jis bedan hoye. People actually are crying because they feel the loss of something personal. In other words, they feel that with a person gone, they are going to be losing out on something. Not that the person is gone. They cry because they feel like something has been taken away from them, the ego. But the Guru says one who experiences this pain, jis biti jane, should understand, prabhasoy, that it is the prab, it's his will. It is willing all of this, and we only have to accept as it comes. जीवत मरण तारे तरना जय जगदीश परमगत सरना आऊं बलिहारी सतगुर चरना गुर बोहित शब्द पै तरना जीवत मरना तारे तरना. To live as if dead to the ego is what will ferry you across. Seek therefore the sanctuary of the Master of the universe. Jai Jagadish. And the Guru says, I'm beholden to the Satgur, to that mediating principle of knowledge. And with its method, with the Guru as the ship, the method is what will ride me across. Guru Bohit is the ship. a-sabad-a-day, the message, is the navigational tool that will carry me across. Nirbhav aap nirantar jyoti, bin naame sutak jag choti. Nirbhav aap, the self, is without fear. Here, Nirbhav has the connotation of discrimination, that the self does not discriminate. It does not gender discriminate. It does not discriminate against the high or the low. So Nirbhav Aab, why? Because Nirantar Jyoti, it is the same light that is present in every form. So therefore it does not discriminate. Bin naam hai, but to be without virtue, the virtue of self-realization, sutak jag choti, one is impure, literally impure. Yet, durmat bin se kya kehrot? Why are you crying over somebody who died without having this self-realization? Janam mue bin pagat sarot. Janam mue bin pagat. Without. The people who have left the world without devotion and love truly are the impure ones, not anything inherent in life here. Muhe ko sach roveh neet, tragun roveh neeta neet. Dukh sukh par har sahaj suchit, tan man sampo Krishna parit. In the first two lines, the Guru says this is the state of the manmukh. We mourn the dead, but we do that out of our egos. We are crying at every moment anyhow because we are trapped in attachment. Traguna roveh, nita neet, all the time. We are always complaining and crying and groaning and moaning and bitching and so on. Because we are trapped. So the Guru says, abandon the opposites. This whole idea of purity, pollution, of good, bad. Instead, remain in sahaj, in balance. It's like walking a tightrope between these opposites. You do that by submitting yourself, body and mind, to the love of the self. Tanu manu sampo, Krishna parihita. भीतर एक अनेक असंख्य कर्म तरम बहो sankhya asankh. A reminder that the formless one within pervades an infinity of forms. Bhitar ek anek asankh. It's the same formless one that pervades all forms, which are infinite. And of rituals and rites, there are many, countless, the Guru says, karma tarma baho, sankh, asankh. But without devotion and love, bin pay bhakti, love, devotion, janam birant, life is wasted. Har gun gave, mil parmarant. Har gun gave, achieve that state of parmarath by har gun gave, expressing divine virtue in your life. Aap marai, mare bhi aap marai. So when a form passes out, the self that is within also, in a sense, is snuffed out. The spirit is snuffed out of that form. Mare bhi aap. It is the one that does the snuffing, and it is the same one that gets snuffed out. That is the paradox of life. Aap yu pai, thap yu thap. The self creates, and having created, destroys again. Srishti yu pai, jyoti tu jat. This creation and its species were brought forth through wisdom. Sabad vichar milan nahi prant. The union with the self is achieved through contemplation on the sabad. Of this, the Guru says, there can be no doubt. Sutak agan pakhe jag khaye, sutak jal thal sab hi thaye. Nanak sutak janam mari jai, Guru Prasadi har ras pijai. It is the fire of impurity that consumes the world, meaning vices. But the impurity, the sutak that you're talking about, is everywhere. There are impediments everywhere. Birthing and dying is inherently polluting. Water and land contains impediments. So the Guru is challenging the idea of pollution and purity, sutak. This refers to a period of abstention, as we said. In the Indian context, a woman, for example, is considered impure after childbirth and is prevented from entering or refraining from entering the kitchen. Similarly, the dead are considered impure. So Guru Nanak is reminding us that nothing in life is inherently impure, because life is present everywhere, in what even appears like dirt to us, for example. So in that case, if there were impurity, everything would be unclean, because there is life in water and in earth. True impurity, the Guru says, lies in the way we look at the world. When we are bereft of self-knowledge, we are acting in impurity. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.